Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Kishore Mohan Prabhu asked me to sing Jai Radha Madhav, so I'll sing Jai Radha Madhav. You play. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Girivara Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhare Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Yamuna tera vanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihare Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Hatasya Srimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai Shri Shri Gauranitai Ki Jai Shri Caitanya Caritamrta Ki Jai Samaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Hare Krishna. We welcome you all for our Sri Caitanya Caritamrta reading. Just a quick announcement before we continue with the nectar of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. On 4th of September, which is a Sunday, we are going to celebrate Sri Radhashtami, Sri Radhashtami Mahamahotsav Ki Jai. So this is the divine appearance day of our Supreme Mother, Srimati Radharani. In a year, our festival season, it starts on Nityananda Trayodasi, major festival where we have Abhishek, Hare Krishna. The darshan will be open again at 9 o'clock. That's the Arati. So, starts with Nityananda Trayodasi and it continues with Gaura Purnima, Narsingha Chaturthasi, Radha Gopinath's anniversary, so on and so forth. And finally it finishes with Sri Radhashtami. Don't worry if you miss out on Sri Radhashtami, we still have Govardhan Puja, Diwali, Gita Jayanti, New Year. So we'll keep on celebrating. So on 4th of September, which is this Sunday, we are going to celebrate Sri Radhashtami. The morning darshan will be at 8:30. We'll have a Srimad Bhagavatam class given by His Grace Venuvadak Prabhu at 7:30 till 8:30. And then in the evening at 5:30, we are going to have the drama by the Sunday school kids on the appearance of Shamakund and Radhakund. And at 6 o'clock, we'll have the festival class on Srimati Radharani by His Grace Govinda Prabhu. 7 o'clock, we'll have Gaurarati. And at 7:30, we'll have Abhishek, followed by Maharati at 9:15. For those of you who like to participate in organizing this event in whatever way you can, Pranayaratir Diya Vacha, you are welcome to contact our Seva team, Partha Prabhu, Manish Prabhu and their team. There are still items available for sponsorship to get the mercy of Sri Shri Radha Gopinath. So please check out our website, Facebook, WhatsApp, everywhere. Or you can even come to the temple, contact our reception team. Okay, we are in Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Antya Lila, chapter 18. One devotee was telling me he's already feeling pangs of separation, that we are going to finish Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. I told him, don't worry, once we finish this, we'll start Adi Lila all over again. No, there are still many areas where we would like to focus more on. We'll discuss and decide at the end of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta. So today, we are going to discuss about chapter 18. As we said, this part of Antya Lila, it discusses about the manifestation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental ecstatic feelings of separation. Normally when we practice Krishna consciousness, it's very hard for us to understand about feelings of separation. One question that always comes to our mind is, how can we feel separation from someone when we don't actually really remember the times of our union? Hemant, do you remember about your times with Radha Gopinath in Goloka Vrindavan? No, I also don't. So, when we don't remember about times of union, how can we feel pangs of separation? But here, when we read these chapters of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, we can understand what is awaiting us when we progress in our Krishna consciousness, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti, Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhava, Prema. When we come across these advanced stages of Krishna consciousness, what is awaiting us? That we learn by studying about these ecstatic symptoms which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is exhibiting in these chapters. So for now, even though it's theoretical, when we study these, we will understand that this process is very, very much fully filled with emotions, devotional emotions, ecstatic emotions. Anything Srila Prabhupada says in the beginning words of Nectar of Devotion, that anything we do in this world is aimed at receiving something in return. And unless there is a certain satisfaction that we get, we'll never be undertaking any activity, let alone devotional activity. So, here, when we study, when we practice Krishna consciousness, morning we may pick up the beats, try to chant, we feel sleepy. Sometimes we may feel very down. Sometimes we feel lazy. That's our constitutional position in material world. Still, remembering these ecstatic symptoms of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can understand, if we sincerely follow in this practice of Krishna consciousness, eventually we will come to a point when we will also be able to taste these devotional emotions and feel pangs of separation from Krishna. So this section, especially the last section of Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Antya Leela, it discusses about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings of ecstasy. And specifically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his devotional emotion, how he is perceiving each of these different parts of Jagannath Puri. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would look at Chataka Parvat and he would think, this is a sand dune, and that will, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's vision, it will look like Golok Vrindavan. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go into ecstasy, running towards it. And all the devotees will have hard time following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, chasing him. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to the temple of Jagannath. Even though Srila Prabhupada, he said we worship Lord Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Maharani in full opulence, because this is Dwarakadish Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sees Jagannath, he would see the Shyamasundar form. So that is Jagannath, Shyamasundar form. Shyamasundar Krishna is Jagannath. Likewise, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sees a garden, he would think this is Vrindavan. He would see this as Vrindavan, not just thinking. It's not a mental. Prabhupada, when he gives the famous purport about the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he would say, this ecstasy is not an artificial imposition of the mind. Imagine, if you are feeling down, how long do you think you can keep telling your mind, no, we have to be happy. No, we have to be happy. Is that the formula to become really happy? No. The only way to become happy is genuinely feeling happy. We have to do something where there has to be some fulfillment, some satisfaction, as a result of which you feel happy. It's an emotion you can't artificially impose. You can't say, I'm going to get angry at you. Or you can't say, I'm going to feel scared now. Then it's no longer emotion. Okay, it has to come spontaneous. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he sees the garden in Puri, he would think, he would understand, he will perceive, he will see Sakshad Vrindavan laid out in front of him. And he would run and he would see Krishna there. Same way, this particular chapter talks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he sees the ocean of Puri. What does he see the ocean as? Yamuna Devi, Yamuna Ji. So he sees this as Yamuna river. So this particular chapter talks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's interaction with Yamuna river and how he is actually perceiving the different water sports of Krishna with the Srimati Radharani and other gopis. So that's what we are going to see. Stavara Jangame Deki, Stavara Jangama Deke, Nadeke Taramurti Sarvatra Nijahoya Ishtadeva Spurti. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, the devotee feeling separation from Krishna, even though they see anything movable and immovable in material world, which are seemingly material, Stavara Jangame Deke. Whether they see something moving or they see something which is fixed, they will see only their Ishta Devata there. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is demonstrating that highest level of devotional emotion. In the brilliant autumn moonlight, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mistook the sea for river Yamuna. Greatly afflicted by separation from Krishna, he ran and dove into the sea and remained unconscious in the water the entire night. In the morning, he was found by his personal devotees. May that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, protect us by his transcendental pastimes. Normally, when devotees glorify Krishna, when they remember Krishna in association with Nama Rupa Guna Lila, with his name, with his form, with his qualities as well as his pastimes. So this particular verse, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is remembering that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who mistook river or mistook the ocean for river Yamuna, ran towards it and dove into the waters. That particular Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that mood. And you will see devotees sometimes, they even offer prayers that way. For example, normally in material sense, I remember once fighting with my aunt because she made a big serving for my brothers who are all elder to me. And I asked her, why are you serving me small? You have served them big. And then she taught me, if you want, you ask, that I need more. Don't compare yourself with others. Good advice. If you read Damodarashtakam, Kuveratmajo Baddha Murtyai Vayadvat. So there if you see Tata Prema Bhaktim means my Lord. Satyavrata Muni is writing, my Lord, the Prema Bhakti you actually gave to Kuver Atmaja, which is Manikriva Nala Kuvera. I want that exact Prema for me also. This is allowed to offer the prayers that way. And you will see many instances. Lord Shiva going to Vishnu. Malabika Mataji was beautifully narrating that pastime. Going to Vishnu and saying, oh my Lord, I want to see that form with which you bewildered the demons. Mohini Murti. You will come across instances where devotees, they go and offer prayers to Krishna saying, my Lord, please, may we take darshan of that beautiful Narsinghadev form. You will come across instances like that. I was sharing this pastime recently in our Bella Vista Bhakti Center. In Ahobilam, which is considered to be one of the holy places of pilgrimage, of specifically with the temple of Lord Narsinghadev. Bhargava Muni, once he goes on tapasya, with the single pointed focus of seeing the form of Lord Narsinghadev. He does tapasya, finally Lord Narsinghadev comes in front of him. And Narsinghadev asks, I am very pleased with your prayers. What would you like? Because Supreme Lord is known as Varadaraj. Whenever he comes, he will give boon. So then Bhargava Rishi says, my Lord, I want to see your most angry form. The form when your anger is at its peak. How many of you here would dare to ask that? But this is what he asks Bhargava Rishi. It's mentioned that when Lord Narsinghadev, when he was roaring, even Brahma was scared to go. Different personalities, they were scared to go. Elevated personalities, demigods, Shiva was okay handling it. But then finally Brahmaji pushes Prahlad Maharaj. Even Lakshmiji is saying, no, I don't know who this form is. This is too angry. Even though Lakshmiji is eternally serving Narasimhadev that way. But here, Lord Narasimhadev, to glorify Prahlad Maharaj, she made even Lakshmiji feel that way. So finally, Brahmaji pushes Prahlad Maharaj, saying, because of you only Lord took this most angry form, please go and pacify him. And then Prahlad Maharaj offers beautiful prayers, and then Lord Narasimhadev is pacified and he gives the boon. So here Bhargava Rishi is also coming. My Lord, the form, when you demonstrate the anger at its peak, I want to see that particular form. Then Narasimhadev tells Bhargava Rishi that, look, I was feeling my anger was actually hitting its peak the moment when I was actually piercing my nail into the body just at that time. Have you got this experience? Let's say I give you a rope or a small thread. Have you got that experience? You think this is very light and you can easily tear it. And you try to do it, doesn't work. Have you seen that? And you think, maybe I should use a scissor. Still you pull because our ego doesn't give up. We still can do it. Just at the moment when it snaps, that's when you would have pulled it with maximum force, correct? Same way, Narasimhadev is saying, the moment when I put my fingernail on top of the chest and about to pierce, that's the moment. Then Bhargava Rishi says, that's exactly what I want. Then Narasimhadev says, well, in order to do that, I need to bring Hiranyakashipu. So then Narasimhadev first sits on the place, and then Hiranyakashipu suddenly comes. My Lord, what can I do? I'm already learnt my lesson. No problem, please come here. Just sit on my lap. Hiranyakashipu is like, why? What's the problem? Then he comes, Bhargava Rishi also smiles, Narasimhadev also smiles, only they both know why they are invited, Hiranyakashipu. Then Narasimhadev puts him. And then Narasimhadev pierces. If you look at that form, you can still see that form. Normally, if you see any form of Hiranyakashipu, he'll be looking at Lord Narasimhadev and like, he'll be crying out in pain. But that particular form, if you see, Narasimhadev will be like this, Bhargava Rishi's deity is also still there. Bhargava Rishi will be offering prayers with full happiness. Hiranyakashipu will be looking at Bhargava Rishi. Why? Like that, looking this way. So you will see devotees offering special prayers that way. My Lord, that particular form you showed to some pure devotee in the past, or that particular quality which you bestowed a devotee with, which you demonstrated to a particular devotee in a particular situation, I want to see that. And you will see gopis also praying. Srimati Radharani herself praying. It's the same Krishna. I am the same Srimati Radharani, but I want Krishna in Vrindavan, not Krishna in Dwarka. And I want that Krishna who will play flute. Dwarka Krishna doesn't play flute. Krishna plays flute only in Vrindavan. Okay, so here, if you see, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is praying. In the morning, he was found by his personal devotees. May that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in that peak of ecstasy, who mistook the ocean for Yamuna ji and ran towards it, diving into that whole, drowning all the devotees in pangs of separation for whole night, only to be found in the morning. That particular Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in that particular mood, may that Lord accept my humble obeisances. So that's what he's saying. May that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, protect us by his transcendental pastimes. Interesting, right? Normally we say, if you read Kavacha, especially when a newly born baby is brought to the temple, we usually recite Narasimha Kavacha, we recite Tulasi Kavacha also. The origin of Tulasi Kavacha, if you see, Lord Shiva's son, Kartikeya, he goes to fight with the demon. He is Deva Senapati. But when he goes to fight, he gets beaten up by that demon. So then he runs towards Lord Shiva. Dad, save me. And then he goes to him. Then Lord Shiva, he protects him by chanting the mantras. And that is the origin of Tulasi Kavacha. And there he says, may the leaves of Tulasi protect your head. May the shade of Tulasi, this is one question I get asked, is there anything we can do when you know that there is a place feels to be like haunted, even if a person is actually possessed by some ghost, what should I do? It's there in Tulasi Amrita, you can read. It said that when, early in the morning you see Tulasi Maharani, we have worship here. If you sit on the shadow of Tulsi Maharani, any ghostly beings, if it has possessed, would run away. It's given in Shastras like that. So Lord Shiva, then he says, each one, may the aroma of Tulsi Maharani protect you. May the stem of Tulsi Maharani, may the dust of Tulsi Maharani protect your arms, legs like that. This way, he empowers Kartikeya with that Tulasi Kavacha, the armory of Tulasi Maharani. And then Kartikeya goes, fights and wins over the demon. Same way here it's given, see, may that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, usually you are protected by something like that. We come across Narayana Kavacha pastime. We come across Tulasi Kavacha. We come across Narasingha Kavacha. But look at what Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, may that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, protect us by his transcendental pastimes. Which means, here, what is the Kavacha? Simply hearing about the Leela of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That alone will protect us. That's what it means. Katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram shukaram bhavet vishmrite viparitam syat Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. Anything which is difficult in this world becomes easy at once if we can somehow or other remember the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. On the other hand, if we forget to do so, then even the most easy things will become very difficult. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Advaita Acharya, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. While thus living at Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu floated all day and night in an ocean of separation from Krishna. During a night of the autumn season, when a full moon brightened everything, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wandered all night long with his devotees. He walked from garden to garden, seeing the pastimes of Lord Krishna and hearing and reciting songs and verses concerning the Rasa Leela. He sang and danced in ecstatic love and sometimes imitated the Rasa dance in emotional ecstasy. He sometimes ran here and there in madness of ecstasy and sometimes fell and rolled on the ground. Sometimes he became completely unconscious. When he heard Swarup Damodara recite a verse concerning the Rasa Leela, or he himself recited one, he would personally explain it as he had previously done. So this is the way to remember Krishna. How can we remember Krishna? We remember Krishna by hearing about his glories, hearing about his Leela, hearing about his pastimes. In Vrindavan, even when Krishna was there, personally present, manifested, 5,000 years ago, as soon as Mother Yashoda wakes up in the morning, she would start to sing about Leela of Krishna. Even if you go to Vrindavan nowadays also, you will hear people singing in simple Brajabhasha, only talking about the Leela of Krishna. Simply by hearing, we will feel connected with Krishna that way. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself would personally explain it as he has previously done. In this way, he explained the meaning of all the verses concerning the Rasa Leela. Sometimes he would be very sad and sometimes very happy. To explain fully all those verses and all the transformations that took place in the Lord's body would require a very large volume. So as not to increase the size of this book, I have not written about all the Lord's pastimes, for he performed them every moment of every day for 12 years. 1/12 of a second is kshana. That's moment. So he performed them every moment. So you calculate it. How many pastimes he would have performed in a day. Like that for 12 years. As I have previously indicated, I am describing the mad speeches and bodily transformations of the Lord only in brief. In Ananta, with his 1,000 hoods tried to describe even one day's pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would find them impossible to describe fully. What chance do we stand? If Ganesha, Lord Shiva's son and the expert scribe of the demigods, tried for millions of millenniums to fully describe one day of Lord's pastimes, he would be unable to find their limit. So even Ganesha also would find it difficult. Ganesh is the famous author. Lord Ganesh. Today is Ganesh Chaturthi? Yeah. So, he, just like how he wrote Mahabharat, if he starts to write, he will never be able to write even one day of Lord's pastime. How long, if he had tried even for millions of millenniums to fully describe, still he cannot come to the end. Even Lord Krishna is stuck with wonder. What to speak of them? Even Krishna doesn't know the end of his glories. Isn't that wonderful? Bhaktera prema vikara deki krishnera chamatkara krishna yara napayanta kebachara hara. Even Lord Krishna is struck with wonder at seeing the transformations of ecstasy in his devotees. If Krishna himself cannot estimate the limits of such emotions, how could others? Krishna himself cannot fully understand the conditions, the modes, the mode of progress, the happiness and unhappiness, and the moods of ecstatic love of his devotees. He therefore accepts the role of a devotee to taste these emotions fully. Krishna, the reason why he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, Krishna had this doubt. Am I enjoying more in the relationship with my devotees, or are the devotees enjoying more in this relationship? I need to know. It's natural to think that way. Looks like they are having good time, looks like I'm missing out on something. Like that Krishna is thinking, looking at the ecstatic face of his devotees. Have you seen this baby Krishna, Vadapatra Kashai, sitting and trying to suck the toe of his feet? Have you seen? And the reason why he is doing is, Acharya is right, that he is thinking everyone is talking about my lotus feet. Is it really sweet? Like that he wants to test. In baby form, he's sucking that way. So here, even Krishna is struck with wonder. Ecstatic love of Krishna makes Krishna and his devotees dance, and it also dances personally. In this way, all three dance together in one place. Who are the three people? Krishna, Krishna's devotee, and Krishna Prema. That's also a personality. So he says, all three, they keep dancing in one place. One who wants to describe the transformations of ecstatic love of Krishna is like a dwarf trying to catch the moon in the sky. As the wind can carry away but a drop of the water in the ocean, a living entity can touch only a particle of the ocean of the love of Krishna. Endless waves arise moment after moment in that ocean of love. How could an insignificant living entity estimate their limits? Only a person on the level of Swarup Damodar Goswami can fully know. So who can actually fully know? Only the personal associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, only the personal associates of Krishna can know. Swarup Damodara is Lalita Sakhi. When an ordinary living entity describes the pastimes of Sri Krishna, he purifies himself by touching one drop of that great ocean. Why are we doing sadhana, chanting Hare Krishna? I am reading something you are hearing. You could have gone home and be doing something else. But what's the purpose? Why I am also reading, I can also be doing something else, is simply for our own purification. By reciting, by hearing, by remembering, we all purify ourselves. Okay, our mind becomes very calm, peaceful. That's the reason why we do. As an independent leader among elephants enter the water with its female elephants, Krishna, who is transcendental to the Vedic principles of morality, entered the water of the Yamuna with the gopis. His chest had brushed against their breasts, crushing his flower garland and coloring it with red kunkuma powder. Attracted by the fragrance of that garland, humming bumblebees followed Krishna like celestial beings of Gandharvaloka. In this way, Lord Krishna mitigated the fatigue of the rasa dance. So this is description of rasa leela, Srimad Bhagavatam. While thus wandering near the temple of Aitota, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu suddenly saw the sea. So now he is seeing the sea as Yamuna, brightened by the shining light of the moon. The high waves of the sea glittered like the waters of the river Yamuna. Mistaking the sea for the Yamuna, the Lord ran swiftly and jumped into the water unseen by the others. Falling into the sea, he lost consciousness and could not understand where he was. Sometimes he sank beneath the waves and sometimes he floated above them. The waves carried him here and there like a piece of dry wood. Who can understand this dramatic performance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Keeping the Lord sometimes submerged and sometimes afloat, the waves carried him toward the Konark temple. Konark temple is called Arkatirtha. You can see that beautiful temple, sun temple. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fully merged in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, performed with the gopis in the water of the Yamuna. Meanwhile, all the devotees headed by Swarup Damodara lost sight of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Astonished, they began searching for him, asking, "Where has the Lord gone?" So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was wandering in the garden of Puri, and as he was doing, he looks at the ocean which is glittering from the light of the moon, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mistakes in his transcendental vision the ocean to be river Yamuna. He just runs right in front of them, plunges into the water, and nobody could see. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy, being carried, tossed around by these waves of Puri. Needless to say, the waves of ocean also must have been in ecstasy, touching the lotus feet of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had run off at the speed of the mind. No one could see him. Thus, everyone was puzzled as to his whereabouts. You will see similar description when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his associates, he would pull the Jagannath cart, he would form different teams, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go around, whizzing past each of the group. And all they could see is just like a fireband, like a lightning. Have you seen the trail of some flight going, or of a very burning bright object, like a comet? When they go, they leave like a big trail. All they could see is just that. They'll see that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be gone. And it's given, they'll see first a golden line like that and a silver line like that. Who is silver? Nityananda Prabhu. Only Nityananda Prabhu could cope up with them. He'll just keep going, and devotees can't even see. All they can see is just bright light like that. Similar description is given of Arjuna when he was wielding his Gandiva. All they could see is just a flash of his string. That's all they could see from Gandiva. That's how fast he was. It's given in Mahabharata that way. So here, that's what happened at the dead of night when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, flanked by his devotees, is just walking on the shore. Suddenly, vanishes. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had run off at the speed of the mind. No one could see him. Thus, everyone was puzzled as to his whereabouts. Has the Lord gone to the temple of Jagannath, or has he fallen down in madness in some garden? All they know is he just left. Where did he end up going? Nobody knew. Perhaps he went to the Gundicha temple, or to Lake Narendra, or to Chatak Parvat. Maybe he went to the temple of Konark. Lot of options. Talking like this, the devotees wandered here and there, looking for the Lord. Finally, they came to the shore, accompanied by many others. While they were searching for the Lord, the night ended, and thus they all decided, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has now disappeared. In separation from the Lord, everyone felt as though he had lost his very life. The devotees concluded that there must have been some mishap. They could not think of anything else. Mind always holds on to something negative. An idle mind is devil's workshop. So, normally when we think, we always think negative. We always think that could have gone wrong. This could have gone wrong. Mind will give unlimited options how things could have gone wrong. Very rarely it will give one idea. Maybe, things could have been little better. When you lose it, you're like, is it lost? That's what we think. Some devotee could have picked it up. Somewhere someone must have kept it. I lost my bead bag in this temple 3 times. Can you believe? Well, on the day of my initiation, my senior godbrother told me that every night before you sleep, before you close your eyes, you always think, where did I leave my bead bag? If you do this, you will never lose your bead bag. This is what he told me on my initiation day in this temple. So I said, okay. I used to live nearby in West Street. One night I was going to sleep. I remember this lesson of my godbrother. I closed my eyes and I thought, okay, it's there. You see? Then suddenly you are uncertain. I went and opened the cupboard. It wasn't there. Then I thought must be in the table. Then I turned on the light. It wasn't on the table. I'm like, oh my God, where is it now? Where did I go? It was on Balaram Jayanti. I still remember. And then I was frantically running around. I remember then. I used to stand at the Gopinath Seva table at the time. Then I came running, and the devotee sitting in the reception, he was just taking his car to leave. And I asked, Prabhuji, did you see my bead bag? Then he looked at me, smiled. He said, what color? I said, blue. He said, come. You know? So of 3 times, 2 times I found following the advice of my senior god brother. So always remember, before you sleep, where did I leave it? And the 3rd time, same thing happened. I left it in the temple room. I was too engrossed preaching Krishna consciousness that I completely forgot. I got on the car, went to Paramata at that time. Then I had to call a devotee. Prabhuji, my bead bag. Prabhu, there are quite a few. Which one? Yellow. There is 3 yellow. I'm like, please. No smartphone those days. So then I had to immediately drive back. So you will come across many instances when our mind, if it holds on to something, it will always tend to hold on to something negative. That's why it said idle mind is a devil's workshop. Mana trayatiti mantra. But the same mind can be uplifted through mantra. That's why it's called mantra. Tra means that which saves, just like Kshatriya. Shat means hurt. Tra means one who protects someone from getting hurt. That's why the person is called Kshatriya. Likewise, mantra. Man means mind. Tra means that which protects the mind. Like that. So, here, when devotees, when they are thinking, has he gone here, has he gone here, has he gone here, and they are running frantically. One batch of devotees running there, searching in Konark temple, another one in Narendra Sarovar, another one in Aitota, another one Jagannath temple, Gundicha Mandir, another one. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is nowhere to be found. So they are painfully concluding there must have been some mishap. A relative or intimate friend is always fearful of some injury of his beloved. In one morning walk, Prabhupada is actually asked by one of his disciples, Chittahari Prabhu, Prabhupada, the devotees, when they, even during morning program, sadhana, they go through a lot of anxiety. How to distribute more books? Have you got that anxiety yet? Soon. One day you will distribute more books. And then you will think next day morning it will be very nice for rest of the day. That yes, I distributed lots. Then you sleep, wake up in the morning, now you think, my God, new day now. I can't take the same scores again. You know you have to start again. So then when you chant, always mind will be saying, yesterday you did well, today, keep quiet, keep chanting. Mind always says, I was once chanting in this room, one devotee was like, Hare Krishna, Krishna, pizza. I'm like, Prabhu, what is the problem? Have you got that experience? Suddenly you think something comes out. I'm like, Prabhu, did he eat? Sorry, Prabhu, I think I'm meditating too much on the breakfast. Kadamkana Maharaj once, I think here only he was saying, Govindam Adi Purusham, what's breakfast for today? No, Govindam. So, it's very easy for mind to go here, there. So here, a relative or intimate friend. So Prabhupada is saying, this anxiety which devotees go through to expand on the Sankirtan mission to distribute books, this is not my anxiety. This is Krishna anxiety. Prabhupada says, karmis, they are always in anxiety. I should earn money here. I should do this. I should do that. Like that. But Krishna, devotees, their only goal is, I want to expand this movement. I want to please the Lord. Distributing books, expanding on this mission is going to please the Lord. If I don't do this, what will happen? So I want to do this. That anxiety. Prabhupada says this is Krishna anxiety. In material world, you can never be anxiety-less. You have only 2 choices. Krishna anxiety, Maya anxiety. Hemant, what's your pick? Krishna anxiety. Fantastic. So Krishna anxiety. Prabhupada says, Yashoda Maya in spiritual world, she is always worried, is Krishna okay? I think that flower is from the garland, can you pick it up? You can keep it, Mahaprasad. Gopinath's garland. So, Krishna anxiety. So, Yashoda Maya is always worried, what is happening to baby Krishna? Is any demon coming? Is any insect coming? Is anyone actually going to take? Is Krishna okay? Is he hungry? Is he sleeping? Like that, Prabhupada says, Yashoda Maya is always in anxiety for Krishna. So Prabhupada says, this is the anxiety we should get. This is the anxiety we should be buying by paying whatever that we can. Rupa Goswami says like that. Once we actually said that to Devamrita Maharaj. Maharaj, how can we balance? Should we do too much or should we do too less? Sometimes in our over-enthusiasm to do service, we compromise on our sadhana. And then we quoted this also. Rupa Goswami says that one should have that greed to do more service, to have that anxiety. Maharaj looked at us, smiled, and he said, that's in Bhava level. What level are you in? You know, Anartha Nivriti. So, next question. So, we are normal, ordinary devotees. We need to understand where our level is, and we have to see how much. But what we are reading in these pages are the symptoms or the emotions of devotees in the highest platform, in the superlative degree, in the topmost platform. But if we plan like this, slowly, taking whatever anxiety that we can take for Krishna, slowly, maintaining our balance between sadhana, health, seva, everything, then one day we will be able to go. A relative or an intimate friend is always fearful of some injury to his beloved. When they arrived at the seashore, they conferred among themselves. Then some of them sought out Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Chataka Parvata. Swarup Damodar proceeded east with others, looking for the Lord on the beach or in water. Swarup Damodar knows the mood of the Lord. So, everyone was overwhelmed with moroseness and almost unconscious, but out of ecstatic love, they continued to wander here and there, searching for the Lord. Passing along the beach, they saw a fisherman approaching with his net over his shoulder, laughing, crying, dancing, and singing. He kept repeating the holy name, Hari Hari. Then, Swarup Damodar looks at him and he says, selected, we found the Lord. Seeing the activities of the fisherman, everyone was astonished. Swarup Damodar Goswami therefore asked him for information. My dear fisherman, he said, why are you behaving like this? Have you seen someone hereabouts? What is the cause of your behavior? Please tell us. The fisherman replied, I have not seen a single person here, but while casting my net in the water, I captured a dead body. I lifted it with great care, thinking it a big fish. But as soon as I saw that it was a corpse, great fear arose in my mind. As I tried to release the net, I touched the body, and as soon as I touched it, a ghost entered my heart. So who is this apparent, misconceived dead body? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. It's mentioned Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his ecstasy. When he goes into ecstasy, we see Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, Maharani. Their hands are actually going into their body in ecstasy. Caitanya Mahaprabhu, when he goes into ecstasy, it's there in Caitanya Caritamrta only. It's said that his bones, if you take elbow, there is two bones, right? These two. They will separate. And there will be 5 or 6 inches between two bones. Which means, it will be like have you seen in some car showroom, have you seen? They'll be like, they have this, what do they call that? Not really skeleton. It's like a balloon, inflated balloon, but they control the flow of air. So as if it will be waving. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body will be like that. No bones, nothing, so extremely elastic. Because there has to be stiffness, right? Joints brings that stiffness. Imagine your body with no joints. How will you be? Like an deflated balloon actually. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be like that. So here, he has lifted him. And he is thinking, no joint, nothing, so he is confirmed. Because normally, Ekapad, Dvipad, Tripad it's given actually. Ekapad means who has only 1 foot. Ghosts have 1 foot. Shastras actually say, when you talk about different categories of living entities, Ekapad is given. Dvipad means humans obviously. Tripad is who has 3 legs. Old people has 3 legs. 2 and then 1 stick. Then Ekapad, Prabhupada actually translates Ekapad means ghost. Have you seen some Chandamama, some stories, Vikramaditya story? You'll always see Vikramaditya and Vetala. Vetala will always have a big macho body, but then there won't be any feet. It will just come tapering. Have you seen it? That's the description of Shastra actually. Ghosts have 1 foot only. That's why they are called Ekapad. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body is there, but no stiffness, no bones. At least there's no bones are not joining. So he is confirmed. This has to be ghost. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body is also glowing night time. And now he is saying, as I tried to release the net, I touched the body, but as soon as I touched it, a ghost entered into my heart. What is that ghost? Krishna Prema.
I shivered in fear and shed tears. My voice faltered and all the hairs on my body stood up. Ashtavikar Bhav, correct? But he doesn't understand. I do not know whether the corpse I found was the ghost of a dead Brahmana or an ordinary man, but as soon as one looks upon it, the ghost enters the body. So whoever sees the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I'll go back to the first verse. What did Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami say? May the pastimes of that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu protect us. Likewise, the form of the Lord, Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela, everything will protect us. Here, simply looking at the form of the Lord, one gets protected. Radharani has hand like this, you simply look at the hand of, this is Abhaya Mudra, capable of releasing all fear, removing all fear from our heart. You simply look at the hand of Radharani, whenever you feel scared of anything, all fear will go away from the heart. The body of this ghost is very long, 5 to 6 cubits. Each of his arms and legs is as much as 3 cubits long. This is his description. He is saying, its joints are all separated beneath the skin, which is completely slack. No one could see it and remain alive in his body. That ghost has taken the form of a corpse, but he keeps his eyes open. Sometimes he utters the sound, gone, gone, and sometimes he remains unconscious. I have seen that ghost directly and he is haunting me. But if I die, who will take care of my wife and children? So this is his worry. The ghost is certainly very difficult to talk about, but I am going to find an exorcist and ask him if he can release me from it. Release me from what? Krishna Prema. I wander alone at night killing fish in solitary places, but because I remember the hymn to Lord Narasimha, ghosts do not touch me. This ghost, however, overcomes me with redoubled strength when I chant Narasimha mantra. In Mahabharata, there is a story, Ashwatthama. On the day when Dronacharya was actually killed unfairly by Drishtadumna, Ashwatthama rallies his army who was running here, there, scattering, running away from the battlefield, feeling so scared that Dronacharya is gone, that's it, we are doomed. Ashwatthama rallies the crowd saying, don't worry, I have Narayanastra with which I'll be able to vanquish anyone. This is the topmost astra. You will see even Dhruva Maharaj using it or about to release it when he gets stopped. Otherwise, the whole Yaksha race would be wiped out completely. So then, everyone with renewed vigor, they follow Ashwatthama. The quality of this Narayanastra is whoever tries to attack, it will attack, retaliate with multiple times. If somebody releases 1 arrow, it will release 2 arrows. 10 arrows means 20 arrows. Who can fight it? So then, what happens is, Vali, that's how it's given, Shugriva's brother, whoever comes in front of him, he gets boon, he will get half of their strength, which means he'll be 1.5 times at least powerful. All the time. Understand? Even if he meets his match, he will still get half of the opponent's strength, which means he'll be 1.5 times more. And that guy will be 50% only. He'll be battery will be 150. For him, it will be 50% only. So totally asymmetrical match there. So similarly here also, who can counteract this? So then when this one comes, Pandavas, they don't know how to deal with it. Krishna says, no problem. Pay obeisances. And everyone is like, Krishna, just pay obeisances. So everyone pays obeisances. So this astra's quality is whoever attacks it will retaliate. But whoever pays obeisances, it will bless and it will go back. So only Krishna knows it. Krishna is like, I know it. You know, bow. Then everyone bows down. And then it blesses everyone and it goes back to Ashwatthama, saying bye-bye, and it goes away. So here also it said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna himself. He is chanting Narasimha Pranam. What do you think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have done? Yeah, please keep continuing. He is giving more mercy now. So that's what he is saying. This ghost, which is the prema, however, overcomes me with redoubled strength when I chant Narasimha mantra. When I even see the form of this ghost, great fear arises in my mind. Do not go near there. I forbid you. If you go, that ghost will catch you all. Hearing this, Swarup Damodara could understand the full truth of the matter. He spoke sweetly to the fisherman. I am a famous exorcist. This is what Swarup Damodara is saying. Exorcist means those who can drive away the ghost. And I know how to rid you of this ghost. He then chanted some mantras, placed his hand on the top of fisherman's head. He slapped the fisherman 3 times and said, now the ghost has gone away. Do not be afraid. By saying this, he pacified the fisherman. The fisherman was affected by ecstatic love, but he was also fearful. He had thus become doubly agitated. Now that his fear had subsided, however, he had become somewhat normal. Swarup Damodara said to the fisherman, "My dear sir, the person you are thinking is a ghost is not actually a ghost, but is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Swarupa kahe yanra tumi kara bhuta jana. Bhuta jnana, Bhuta nahe tenho Krishna Chaitanya Bhagavan. Because of ecstatic love, the Lord fell into the sea, and you have caught him in your net and rescued him. Simply touching him has awakened your dormant love of Krishna. But because you thought him as a ghost, you were very much afraid of him. Now that your fear has gone and your mind is peaceful, please show me where he is." The fisherman replied, "I have seen the Lord many times, but this is not he. This body is very much deformed." Swarup Damodara said, "The Lord's body becomes transformed in his love for God. Sometimes the joints of his bones separate and his body becomes very much elongated." Hearing this, the fisherman became very happy. He brought all the devotees with him and showed them Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Lord was lying on the ground, his body elongated and bleached white by the water. So that will explain why he mistook Lord's body as ghost. It's white in color also. When Arjuna, when he sees Vishwarupa, Virat Rupa, he sees many personalities, especially entering into the mouth in the form of Kala Rupa, you will see. There is a term he uses, Ushmapa, means those who are steam eaters. You know, when you cook something in your cooker, steam comes out. Forefathers, they drink that steam. It's given like that. So they are called Ushmapa. So here ghosts, it's actually given because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body is bleached white, he mistook him to be ghost. He was covered from head to foot with sand. The Lord's body was stretched and his skin was slack and hanging loose. To lift him and take him the long distance home would have been impossible. The devotees removed his wet undergarment and replaced it with a dry one. Then laying the Lord on an outer cloth, they cleaned the sand from his body. They all performed Sankirtana, loudly chanting the holy name of Krishna into the Lord's ear. After some time, the sound of the holy name entered the ear of the Lord, who immediately got up, making a great noise. As soon as he got up, his bones assumed their proper places. With half external consciousness, the Lord looked here and there. The Lord remained in one of the three different states of consciousness at all times: internal, external, and half external. Antardasha, Bayadasha, Ardha Bayadasha. Antar means internal consciousness. Bahya Dasha means external consciousness. Ardha means half. Ardha Baya means half external. Have you got that experience? Half sleepy mood. Like that. You will get that experience. I remember once I woke up in the morning, early in the morning, and you think, it's just 3:55, just close your eyes and you'll open like that. And you close, half your consciousness is still there. I have to get up. Half your consciousness is, 5 more minutes, sleep. So in that perfect equilibrium of your mind, one day I was actually attending Tulsi Arati in dream, like that. And then we have Tulsi Maharani here, and we go, after we finish the parikrama, we dance around the Tulsi Maharani. We all first run towards Tulsi Maharani and we go. In my sleep, I was like getting up, hitting my head. And after some time, I felt the pain. Then I woke up, then I realized, my God, you have to get up now. So it happens. That is Ardha Baya Dasha, half external consciousness. When the body was deeply absorbed in internal consciousness, but he nevertheless when the Lord was deeply absorbed in internal consciousness, but he nevertheless exhibited some external consciousness, devotees called his condition Ardha Baya, or half external consciousness. In this half external consciousness, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked like a madman. The devotees could distinctly hear him speaking to the sky. Seeing the river Yamuna, he said, I went to Vrindavana. There I saw the son of Nanda Maharaja performing his sporting pastimes in the water. Lord Krishna was in the water of the Yamuna in the company of gopis headed by Srimati Radharani. They were performing pastimes in a great sporting manner. Just like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he saw Chataka Parvat as Govardhan hill, how he saw the garden as Vrindavana. Similarly, he sees water as Yamuna And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is narrating the experiences, what he saw after he plunged into her waters. We'll continue next Monday. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhu.
If you watch Caitanya Mahaprabhu, before his advent, instruct Yogamaya to facilitate the smooth run of the pastime, saying, for example, seeing the ocean of Puri, assuming it as a Yamuna river, sand dune to be Govardhan, did he actually instruct Yogamaya to facilitate?
Yogamaya makes these tasteful arrangements, and there is always a little element of surprise even for Krishna. Otherwise, Krishna can't enjoy his pastime. It's like Krishna knows everything, but Krishna chooses not to know something. Just like a father on a Father's Day may actually give some money to the son or a daughter, they would go purchase something and they are carefully wrapping. Actually, father can just peek over the shoulder of the child and can actually see, but they choose not to. They can, but they just go with the mood. Okay, my little child, my little daughter, my little son is making the gift. Let me enjoy that surprise. That's Krishna's mood. So same pastime happens repeatedly, even every time Krishna comes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, details vary for that reason. So it won't be the same way every single time. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai, Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki jai, Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai, Shri Gauranitai ki jai, Samaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, devotees in Mayapu TV, YouTube and Facebook ki jai, Jai Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.